Yes. The short answer is yes. The Medford real estate market is sinking. There are certainly some holes in the ship. Stick around, I'll get to the conclusion at the end, but before I can get there, I got to take you through the data and the backstory. But yes, there are certainly cracks in the ship, and Medford definitely has some things to think about. So in order to understand where we are, we have to understand where we've been. 2020 and 2021 were crazy years in the Medford real estate market. If I would have told you 2 years ago that home values were going to appreciate by almost 20% in Medford, you probably would have told me I was crazy. Remember 2 years ago, we were all unsure of what this coronavirus was going to do, what the impact was going to be on shutting down the economy. Well, in Medford, it went the opposite direction. Very few people wanted to sell their homes. Why? Because they weren't sure what was going to happen. Who knew what was going to happen with their job? Who knew what was going to happen with their health? Who knew what was going to happen with COVID? So everybody's sitting tight. However, at the same time, there's still people who needed to move. Why? Maybe a loved one passed away, or maybe you wanted to move to be closer to someone while they're going to college. There are a lot of reasons why people need to move. Job change, career change, need to change location for health reasons. This still happened in 2020 and 2021, but we didn't have a lot of people who were ready and or willing to sell. Well, that's changed. Why? Well, because their home's worth a lot more now. So because of the price appreciation, you're seeing more homes on the market than we've seen in the last 2 years. And that has had a dramatic impact on the market in Medford. You are interested in this topic, so would you just take a second and like this video and subscribe? Look, I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Just take a second right now, do it for me. We'll get right back to the content. What does that mean? Well, we used to have frequent instances where there were multiple offers on a property and properties would go well over asking price. That's nothing new. You've heard about that. You've seen it on the news. But what we're seeing now is that properties are not going quite as quick. Why is that happening? There are a couple of reasons that's happening. One is because of the interest rates. Sure, investors and other people who are snatching up real estate at a low interest rate have taken a little bit of a pause. That makes sense. That's logical. But there's still a lot of people who are looking to buy homes. Why? Well, the millennials, like me, are just now reaching the prime home buying age, which means they've saved up their cash, they've done their work, they're ready to pursue the American dream, and they want to buy a home. Well, that's happening in Medford too. There are a lot of millennials moving back to Medford. Maybe they moved away for several years and they realized that Medford is actually a really great place to live. They love the outdoors. They love the location. They love the climate. So they're moving back towards Medford. There's a lot of millennials here. So that's driving a lot of demand as well. So you have to understand, yes, demand is a little bit lower than it was maybe because the investors and some of the people who are at the margins are deciding, hey, I'm going to wait, or I'm going to wait till prices come down. There's a lot of people who aren't right now. And to be honest with you, this is a great market for first-time buyers. Why? Because now you can negotiate things. Now you can discuss price. Now you can discuss, hey, the roof needs some repairs. Or now you can say, hey, would you please lower the price for this? Or hey, would you help with some closing costs? 2020, 2021, we had none of that. But does that mean that the market is sinking? No, that means it's just returning more to normal. There's a give and a take there instead of just the sellers getting whatever they wanted. And you know what? That's a good thing because some sellers got a little bit greedy. Sorry, sellers, you know who you are. So what is happening right now? Well, there's a lot of new construction in Medford and some builders are a little bit tenuous about the market. They're thinking, uh-oh, prices and labor are still high. How am I going to be able to make a profit on this? Because guess what? Builders need to make a profit or they're going to stop building. And then we're in big trouble. There's still a lot of new construction happening, especially in East Medford, over by Wyoming Avenue, Nebraska Avenue. There's some great single family residences that they're building and they're aiming to make them more affordable. What is affordable these days? I don't know. You be the judge of that. So that new construction is coming online and those properties are being completed soon. That's a major benefit. So check that out. Also, another thing that's happening in the market right now is we're seeing price reductions. In fact, there were 57 price reductions in the city of Medford alone last week. I got to tell you, a year ago, there may be one or two. And it's probably because it was a completely distressed property and somebody needed to deal with it quickly. However, now we're starting to see it be more commonplace. In fact, some places are dropping price by $100,000. So imagine you're trying to sell your home and you're thinking, man, I'm going to drop the price by $100,000. You must really want to sell, or you must really need to sell. So that's what's happening right now. Price drops and construction is coming online. So the question is, in this shifting market, what strategies do you use? Guess what? I'm not going to give you all the premium tips. You have to call or be a client to get the premium tips, but I'll tell you a couple of things we're not doing. And the number one thing we're not doing is we're not going in after somebody has reduced the price and giving them a lowball offer. Why? Well, put yourself in their shoes. If you had originally listed your house at $500,000 and then you notice it's not getting any traction in the market, and you lower it to $400,000, if somebody comes in and offers you $300,000 on the first day, are you going to take it? Probably not. You're going to want to go to that $400,000 benchmark and sit and wait for a minute, right? Well, that's what's happened. So don't go in and make a lowball offer the minute after somebody does a price reduction. It's just not going to be a very effective strategy. Some things we do though, is we will, when we see a price reduction, call and ask about closing costs and ask them, why do they think the home didn't sell at that higher price point? What adjustments do they need to make in order to get that price point that they're looking at? And that really comes with knowing and understanding the market and knowing the competitive properties that are out there. It's all about understanding the bigger picture. Then lastly, the one thing I will tell you is watch closely on the back of the market properties. It's happening more and more right now. Buyers are having more and more what we call buyer remorse. Well, guess what? After you've made your offer and after you're past the inspection and you're past the appraisal and you're about ready to seal the deal, I always say, treat it just like you are if you're going to get married. Time to delete the Tinder apps, time to go all in, and you just stick with that property until you get to the end. But not everybody makes it that far. Watch those properties that are coming back on the market. There may be an opportunity for you there. And I hope that helps. Look, the Medford market is big and it's shifting and there's a lot going on. Is it sinking? I don't know. I don't think we've hit an iceberg, but the people on the Titanic didn't believe they hit an iceberg at first either. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know if I missed anything. But overall, I think Medford is holding strong. And I think 2022 is going to be a good time to buy, especially for new home buyers.